Am I supposed to be going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Welcome back to Tokusatsu Girlfriend. This is our last episode for
Kiramager.
Kiramager.
Not ever.
Not ever.
Oh man.
No.
We still have so many other Tokusatsu shows to watch. This can't be the final.
I just you said you need
to
do it big, and you put me on the spot, and my mind snapped. And so that's what you got.
You're about to snap. Anyway, this is our Kiramager finale. You may notice that this is not 4 episodes. It's not how we used to have it with 8 episodes. But this is a special, longer episode where we're going to be discussing the final 6 episodes of our Kiramager watch. We're going to be looking at episodes 40 through the finale. So, oh
my God. The final 6.
This is going to be good because as soon as you're done listening to this episode on our Twitter, Tokusatsu GF, we're going to have, I think, I'm going to set it up right now. Well, after we're done with this, with a couple times. And I want you guys, if you're listening to this, to go to our Twitter and vote on what time you want to do our live, new version to pick what we're going to watch next.
Please.
I think it was Connor on Twitter. He said he kind of likes the flow that we're doing where we do Sentai, Kamen Rider, Other, Sentai, Kamen Rider, Other.
Yeah, I saw that. I agree with him. He read my mind.
Maybe Kamen Rider next? Ooh.
Oh,
I don't want to sway it,
maybe.
But I'm excited to see what we watch next. All right.
Okay.
Now we got all that out of the way. Let's talk about these last episodes.
Okay.
What happened in episode 40? Can you regale us?
No, because I don't remember.
It's the guy. Okay, so this episode, I'll do this episode and you can grab the next one.
Thank you.
So this episode is about Juru, who he uploads his artwork to DeviantArt.
Now I remember.
Oh, okay. And he's like freaking out over everybody else's art, and he sees this other user's art. And he reaches out to them, he comments on it, and he gets an immediate response. Just like, how did you get really good at this? And turns out it's a kid, and the kid, whose name is Calorie, is going to teach him how he got really good at drawing little boys and dragons, which is what he drew. This episode's weird. I just kind of...
It's a little side-eye.
I really liked kind of some of the shot composition. I liked a lot of the things that they were doing in this episode because it made it feel different. It made it feel really cool in a different way that like I haven't really seen Sentai. And it kind of outweighs a little bit of the weirder tones of this episode. So if you've seen it, you know what I'm probably talking about. But if you haven't, this episode, the young boy Calorie takes Juru to go and meet his friend who taught him how to draw very well, who is an adult who has...
Juru even says, oh.
You're friends with an adult.
Oh, your friend's an adult.
And he is a shut-in type who likes anime, likes manga. He's a really good artist. Everything about it just kind of feels a little off. Like, I know that they're not actually trying to imply that there's anything weird going on, but I just feel like in our modern day, looking at it, especially from a Westerner's point of view, there's a lot of red flags.
I know I was going into work mode.
Yeah, you'd have to report that.
But I think that they were just trying to be like, oh, this guy's kind of weird, withdrawn. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But I think they were also trying to play up like, oh, is he the double marks? Because it's like wire marks. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Where like he takes on the form of someone else, kind of like the Gemini doll, but evil.
Yeah, that's the secondary story in this, is that the monster of the week can transform into somebody else, which they don't really do anything with.
No, they really don't.
the preview made it seem like that was the whole thing, and I was like, oh, this could be cool.
Yeah, they even made it seem like they were going to bring Gemini doll back to really do something.
No, and I love that. So they initially start attacking Shigeru because the team minus Juru go and fight, and the monster takes the form of Shigeru. And so he even says, hey, that guy is the imposter. The Marks beast, he can turn into other people. And so they all just gang up on Shigeru and beat the crap out of him. And that kind of like sets that little mode. And so then they're doing tests back at Carrot to see if this person is really this person by tickling them, because you can't really act your way out of, being tickledy.
Yeah.
And
your true self comes out.
I guess. I'll punch a bitch. Don't tickle me. Just so you guys know, if this ever should happen and I try to punch you, then unless the monster's listening to this episode, and then they know for future. Anyway, but Mr. H comes inside, and Mr. H is already inside, and they're just like, oh, what?
What? It's him. It's the wire marks.
Yeah, it's Gemini Doll. They brought him back. I'm so happy.
But I thought they were gonna that was gonna be the solution. Like they were gonna have to use Gemini Doll to trick.
Yeah.
Or something. No.
That would have been so funny, because they could have figured out who he's trying to copy, and then they could have been 3 of them, and he would have been like, wait, what? Yeah, I get what you mean. That would have been fun to kind of add it in, but I don't know. I like what they did with taking this artist who he's trying to submit his artwork to get approved to a Shonen Jump type, submission, and everybody online is super mean to him, which kind of parallels between this young boy Calorie and Jura, who are super supportive and really appreciative of his work, and it kind of leads him down this dark path that the Jotunheim generals are talking about, where they're trying to find a human to turn into a Mark's beast, and he's the one. And after all these really negative comments, Calorie shows up, and Calorie is the monster of the week. Whoa, there wasn't really anything to it. It's just oh, I'm the monster of the week too. And he turns him into a giant monster, and they have to extract him using Dustin's suck ability. And they pull him out, and I think the funniest part of this episode was when they're sucking him out of the monster, because he's inside this giant monster, and they do a little scan and they find him in there and they suck him out. He's in this ethereal white space, and there's all this junk floating around him, and it's all the stuff that he loves.
Yes. And
I started cracking up, because I'm like, if this happened to a Tokusatsu fan, there would be some cringy fucking shit here. Not you guys listening. You know who I'm talking about. Those other kind of Toku fans.
Not you guys. You guys are cool.
Yeah, you guys have class and taste. But you know what I'm saying? Some of those really, suggestive, interesting, avoiding people on Twitter type Tokusatsu fans.
Yeah.
The 75 of those guys suck. But I was just picturing body pillows and really stupid belt gimmicks and hot pockets and all the stuff that they love.
All the things I love. Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
But yeah, they get him out of there, and he gives him one of his pen. Earlier he gave him a quill, or one of his little old-fashioned pen. Yeah.
Fountain pen.
Yeah, fountain pen, because you got to use the ink. And then Jura gives him one of his mechanical pencils, and the end of the episode, I don't get.
It shows him I was like, this is a really heavy ending at first, because
he's just hunched over crying.
He's crying in an alley, and they're just standing there awkwardly
staring at him and then it cuts to them maybe a couple days later with a lot of manga material, bringing it over to his house.
Yeah.
And they're like, we got to check on him. And they get there, and the house is poltergeisted itself.
Demolished.
Not
it's
even.
gone.
The ground it's it had never existed.
It was never there.
And then they see a poster with his shit on it. And Jura's like, this is his. I didn't fucking get that. Did you get that?
I got that it was his, and so he must have.
When you make it your entire previous life.
I don't know why the house is not there anymore. That I don't get. But I get the whole, oh my God, he must have made it. Look. I guess, yeah, when you make it, you demolish your house. So
it did remind me, I don't know if anybody listening, put a comment here if you've ever read the book series Pendragon. This reminded me of Pendragon. So Bobby Pendragon, he's the main character. He gets whisked away to a different world, and when he finally comes back and he wants to just go home, his entire house is gone as if it never existed. And that's what this reminded me of. I was like, whoa, interesting.
Whoa.
Whoa. Anything else on episode 40, Aching Person?
No, I think we covered it all. I just wish that guy the best. Yeah.
Well, he's doing well.
Yeah,
he's got an anime adaptation.
God bless. Yeah. Do well. That's all I have to say about it. Good for him.
We're in the finale. This is the last episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
The next episode, I think, is a real shining gem. There was a lot of really good episodes of this show, and I want you to talk about episode
Cats.
41. What I Want to Be As I Am. That's what it's called.
Which is cats.
which is alone. Cats.
Yeah.
Want to be alone.
Except
for Ralphie,
who has been wandering around here meowing. He's our special guest for this episode specifically.
he came over here, was playing with my foot, and then he ran off.
He's so shy. He's like a little
Chase
fish.
me.
So this episode is about cats. So it starts out with
Not the musical.
Yeah, no, not the
Not
musical.
not the thing that caused coronavirus. The movie came out and then everybody got coronavirus.
Oh, I was like, what?
No, not like the bubonic plague and rats. I'm talking about coronavirus and the theatrical release of Cats.
Okay.
The world shut down when that movie came out. It's not right.
Okay, now I'm tracking.
Okay.
I just want to point out, first of all, that so it starts out with Crunchula, Jotunheim, that whole thing. And he's like, I am going to do it. I'm going to unleash my biggest marks yet. And as soon as he said that, you said, oh, Crunchula's dying.
Crunchula's dead this episode.
Like immediately. Like we hadn't even gotten to the song intro.
Yeah.
And you just go, oh, Crunchula's dead this episode.
Crunchula's finally dying. Thank you.
And I was like, oh, whatever. Maybe. You do know more about this than I do, so maybe.
We have to watch Akiba Ranger, because Akiba Ranger does it really well, that there's certain things that the villains will say that immediately like check mark that they're going to lose. Like they could be absolutely winning and then they say like, I'm never going to lose. And they go, oh, you're going to lose. And then they charge in and they win.
Well, it turns out Crunchula's, coup de grace, the cream of the crop for him, is a cat marks.
My favorite. I love the lucky cat.
You've been waiting for this episode too for a while, so I know you were really excited.
Well, I wasn't personally waiting for it. I just want to clarify. I wasn't waiting for this episode. Twitter went absolutely fucking bonkers when this episode came out, and I was seeing like the fan servicey gifs of Senna and Sayo like doing the cat things, like like when they take them back to Carrot.
Yeah.
That was just that in my feed for like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like, fucking quit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna get a cat episode, and apparently it's good because everybody really likes it and talks about it. Other than those 2 moments that happened in the episode, that
makes sense. But anyway, the Marks is a cat, and as the name implies, he turns people into cats, and that's like what Crunchula considers the
top billing for
the
evil.
Best of the best.
Crunchula sucks.
Even the Kiramagers are like, really?
This is half brain.
Like, is he getting old or what? What's going on? Like these ideas are not good. And he hears them, and he's like, what? And he gets all upset. And they, 3 of them, Senna, Sayo, and Juru, get hit by the Marks, and oh my god, they're cats now.
They grow ears and everything.
I don't know why. I guess they couldn't get Juru. Is that what it was? They could only capture Senna and Sayo, and that's why they were able to take them back to Carrot.
Well, it's because they grow ears and they become cats.
Yeah.
And like Sayo jumps up, or no, Senna jumps up like 20 feet in the air, and like Tommy's like, oh, how'd she do that? And Shigeru is like wanting to take a nap with Sayo because Sayo's like cozying up on him. He's like, oh, well, this isn't so bad. And Wonder Chode, he lost track of Juru. And so like when the other 2 come over and they have the other 2 and they're carrying them, they're like, here, we got these 2, grab Juru. And he turns around, he's like,
So it was Takamichi.
It's always Takamichi that's fucking up. Yes.
Okay, because I was like, why don't they have Juru?
Well, Juru also saw Crunchula and like
took off
after him. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Well, anyway, they take the girls back to Carrot, and they're being cats. And yes, as you mentioned, fan servicey stuff. Bit of a side eye moment for me. Nothing worth noting really happens when they take them back. They're just acting like cats. And then
Takamichi brings in some like censored out fish.
Yeah, was that just, what was that?
I don't know. Well, I don't think that they can show like the fish. Like, I don't think it was like cooked. I think it was just like raw fish that was like mashed up or something. And so it's maybe like gory.
Gore.
Yeah. Gore and Kiramager.
I was just like, okay, sure. And then meanwhile,
Crunchula is still down in the dumps on themselves. And
they come across Juru these people are like they're painting on a poster and.
Well, no. First, Juru runs into him and knocks him over, and he drops his sketchbook, and Crunchyla picks it up.
and he's like,
and it's a really nice, touching moment. He's like,
hey,
"You're a creator too.
These are pretty good. You're a creator also." And that's when I said, I think he's gonna turn good.
No, because in this show, if you turn good, you're dead.
And that's what you said. You were like, he may turn good, but he's still dying.
I said Yodana is gonna fucking murder him.
And I just I found a new appreciation and love for Crunchyla this
Me
episode.
too.
I'm like, oh, you're precious.
So Juru like scares these like people who are like painting this giant mural. Like they have like letters and everything. They have like a half of it done.
It looks nice.
And he like dumps all this yellow paint and like gets it on his hands and starts putting handprints everywhere. And him and Crunchyla work together. He's like, no, you got to have form like this. And he starts drawing something and they're just having fun.
Creating.
It's kind of a okay moment. But like at the end, it's this butterfly.
And it looks really good.
Which is kind of, symbolic of like people can change and they can transform. And
he was
that's
once
what
an
Crunchyla
ugly
is going
caterpillar cocoon. And now he's a beautiful butterfly.
No, Juru is a cat now.
I'm talking about Crunchyla.
Yeah, Crunchyla. But yeah, they share a nice little moment together, and then Yodana shows up and like blasts a hole through it.
Yeah, she's like, and then she stomps on it.
She's like rubs her feet on it.
This is stupid. I hate this. And she then goes to attack Crunchyla, and Juru jumps in the way, which you wouldn't think, because she like the marks like does something where it turns all the cats like bad.
So she like rings the cat's bell. She whips his ass.
Yeah, literally.
Because the cat farted on him earlier, so she like whipped him so that he would stop farting.
I can't believe we forgot to mention.
Yeah, the cat monster of the week farts on Crunchyla, which was really funny. Before we were like, oh, we like Crunchyla now.
Yeah.
But anyway, Yodana gets to the cat who's taking a little nap, and he like sends out a signal that like makes all of them become feral.
Yeah.
And so Sen and Sayo are like attacking
Mabushina,
who's a rock. Who?
Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah, that would hurt them more than anything.
But
if she was made out of straw or wicker,
maybe not so much, or whatever it is that Ralphie's little
the
cat
scratch posts. Yeah, then I'd be worried.
Yeah.
But anyway, Juru gets that too, and he runs off, and Yodana's attacking Crunchyla, but then Juru comes back.
Which you wouldn't, because he's supposed to be feral, and you also thought he was gone, but he jumps in front of Crunchyla and to like save Crunchyla. And Crunchyla is like, friend. And then grabs Yodana and is like, get out of here, Kirame Red.
No, he does this in his face first.
Oh, yeah, he saves him.
Snaps him out of it.
Yeah, for the most, he's still got the cat ears. He's still a little bit cat-like, but he's like...
Yeah, he's like slurring his speech like he's cat drunk.
He's coming out of it. He's coming out of it. And he's like, get out of here, Kirame Red.
Kipsy. Like Tipsy and Kitty.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
So Juru runs off, leaving Crunchyla there to
be murdered by Yodana.
Who is not playing around at this point.
No, the Emperor is like, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll turn into this 20-foot tall thing and like throw all these purple spikes through him.
Whatever those are.
And make him dramatically fall back into the water, which that was
It looked like a reverse belly flop, a back flop.
Yeah, it was a far drop. Like I don't know if that was the real actor that did that or a suit actor, but like all the arm stuff, like it just hits the water like that.
So it appears that Crunchyla dies.
Yeah.
Very much so. I don't know how there was any avoiding that attack, but I digress.
Spoiler, he's still alive.
Yes.
Garza got him for some sort of thing.
Yeah, Uncle Ring Pop says no.
Garza's probably going to kill him.
Because the whole time, Uncle Ring Pop is like watching him on some Jotunheim.
Oh, yeah, he's watching the two of them paint, and he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he's just like watching them on this like floating screen thing in Jotunheim.
Yeah. It has to float to stay out of the water.
Because otherwise it would short circuit or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that we didn't mention with Crunchyla is like talking about all the monsters and all the wonderful things that they found on Earth that they were able to like spark their creativity to make monsters.
He's shining.
Yeah, he really is.
He makes monsters. Oh, how cute is that?
Everybody's got their different shine, you know? I shine when I poop, but like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what I'm really good at.
Yeah, that's true. But he gives this really impassioned speech just about like, I found that there are more important things than being a loyal henchman or Jotunheim, and it's my integrity as a creator of monsters. And Yoda's like, I don't give a
Emperor's like, you
fuck.
traitor.
Yeah.
This is treason.
And then he backflops into a good 20 feet down. I don't know. Probably not 20 feet.
It's only like 5 feet, but just the slow motion and like how bulky his outfit is. Oh my God.
It looked painful.
It looked like it probably took the wind out of him.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
back on the field. So Tomitomo and Shigeru get to the battle, and Takemichi's also there, and he was running with the little cat toy, and of course Senna and Sayo following it. And
Yeah.
I really liked what they did with the choreography here, because they distracted him away from Takemichi so he could go and fight the giant monster that they called upon, because Yodana did the cat thing. The cat thing already made up enough energy to summon a big monster, whatever. Yeah. And so Takemichi's fighting that, and during the fight scene between the grunts and the Kiramagers, they also have to like distract Senna and Sayo away from danger.
Yeah.
While they're fighting. I'm like, this is cool. I like this. But yeah, and then Jiro comes up and slaps them, or
yeah, he
whatever.
does. He's like, look at this cool trick Crunchula taught me. And he makes them the same level of non-cat that he is, where they're still kind of cat, still got the ears, but they're able to fight and function. And their roll call was super funny. Like, Tame and Shigeru are still normal, but
I love that the machines have cat ears too. Like, why?
But Senna, Sayo, and Juru, they have like cat puns
Kiramauger
and stuff like that.
Kira meow change.
And then even when they like do their like acrobatic thing at the end, they're doing like the paw thing. It was funny. It was cute. I liked it. It was a nice touch.
I like when Sentai does funny things like this.
Yeah.
Like there's some like, I know like everybody harps on Ninja. There's probably a few people out there that actually really liked Ninja. And again, it's probably their first Sentai, which I understand why you would like it. But Ninja did a lot of stuff where they try to do fun, tongue-in-cheek, cute, like silly stuff like this. And it just kind of came off as like, ugh, I hate these guys. You know what I mean? And like, it just works so well in this show. Like we're 41 episodes in, and the charm of like, this feels like a really early episode.
It does. It does.
Mixed with like the severity of like a really final episode.
Yeah.
Which is like, you haven't seen something like this really in Sentai.
No,
I love it.
As far as I know, no. So yeah, they of course defeat the cat marks. They get returned back to normal, and Juru,
except for the ears.
Yeah, they lose the ears.
I was really hoping they'd have the ears on the helmet.
That would be cute. That would have been cute.
I was really hoping for it.
Well, they go back to the torn up butterfly mural, and I was like, oh my God, please let Juru remember that it was with Crunchula, because how awful would it have been for him to die in vain and them to be like, fuck Crunchula.
Well, no, it starts because Juru comes over there and he's just like, something fun happened here.
Yeah, something fun happened here.
And we were both like, oh no, does he not remember? Crunchula. We're like, oh, thank God.
I had a lot of fun with Crunchula, and they were like, what? And he's like, I know.
Yeah, girl.
And that was
it's like that Paul Rudd meme, like, who would have guessed, you and me?
Not me. Exactly. And that's pretty much it. He's just like, I have fun with Crunchula. Hope he's doing okay wherever he is. And that's about it. That's how it ends, pretty much. But luckily, if you stay and watch the little end
pre-credit scene.
Yeah, the pre-credit scene, you see that Uncle Ring Pop, as we said earlier, he did somehow.
He gives him his staff back too.
Yeah, he saved Crunchula.
I think, and if you know again how we make these episodes, we watch 2 in a row, so we haven't actually watched right now, technically, as we're recording this, the last 4. By the time you're hearing this, we have watched all of it because sequentially. So the next 2 that we watch will have known, but I'm making a call right now that Garza is going to use Crunchula to kill him, maybe to get like a power up or to get an advantage over Yodana and the Emperor. Probably it's the same thing.
Like he's going to usurp him, try and like, oh.
And he needs Crunchyroll has a power to build monsters, to make something. So why can't he make himself something? Like, I don't know. That's just that's my theory.
That's a really good theory.
That's mine.
I like it.
Because Garza has always been seeking power this whole show.
And he's kind of a
They're sleeping
big
on him.
ol' jerk too.
Yeah.
Like, he's trying to kill Takamichi. Like, he's pretty underhanded.
I mean, if one of the Kiramagers had to go,
Yeah.
I'd probably say goodbye to
Sorry.
Takamichi. No offense to anybody that likes Takamichi out there.
Seriously, no offense.
And again, like, I know, like, I hate to just, be like, it's because of COVID, everything's out of whack. But I really just feel like they never were able to hone Takamichi in. Yeah, he's got some fun moments, but, like, it just felt so loose and it just felt so barely put together that I'm like, we're at the end of the show and I really don't care for you, which is, it's just saying something, because I usually love or hate the Sixth Ranger, but I still have like enough of an opinion of them by the end of the show to have that, but I don't feel like I have that with him. I'm just like, he's there. I don't really care for him.
I know, he didn't really, I don't know.
They gave him all of his episodes at once and then they said, you're on your own.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Anything on this episode?
No, it was a cute, fun episode, and I'm hoping once again that we start getting a plot to the end. Like, I hope this was the last fun, lighthearted episode, and then we're gonna get in some shit.
Well, I clicked over to episode 42.
Yeah.
This doesn't spoil anything. Well, maybe the photo does. Actually, I don't know who that is. This is the first episode of the show's 4-part finale. We're here!
We're here. It's a 4-part finale?
Yeah!
Oh my God.
Yeah!
Well,
let's go. You got your wish.
I got my wish.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you shine at before we go to this message? What do you shine at the most, do you think?
I don't know.
I think it's when you do this podcast. I know
that's me. That's what I shine the most at.
I mean, well, I know we don't really have cameras anymore, but you're just so happy and you just feel like so like just to do this podcast. I don't know. It's fun doing this with you. I just wanted to put that little note in there.
Well, thank you. I
welcome.
love doing this. I think I shine doing this, but I'm not sure that's what I shine the most.
What do you think you shine the most at?
I
think it's sleeping, if I'm being really honest.
Sleeping, really?
Yeah.
How do I shine when I sleep?
Exactly.
Oh, so I don't shine?
No, you do.
I don't know. I would say maybe like astrology or spending time with you and Ralphie, taking care of you guys. I would say when I prosecute child abusers, I shine a lot when I do that.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I shine when it's raining, which is not something that I do. I'm not making it rain, but I do like it when it rains, and I shine a lot then. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, those sound good to me. Like, you love whenever, since we live in like the Midwest, we get tornado season here and there. And so like she loves going outside whenever it's like looks bad or it's raining, because she's like, I need to feel it. Okay, we're good. Because she can feel just by the temperature.
I grew up in Kansas.
Yeah.
I think anyone who grew up in Kansas or like the Midwest, and you can just go outside and feel the pressure in the air and be like, no, we're good, or uh-oh.
I only spent a few of my first years in Nebraska because
Yeah.
that's where I grew up originally before I moved up to Minnesota. And I remember that being a thing, and I kind of had that feeling,
Yeah.
but yeah. What do I shine at?
You shine when you create, not to be all crunchula about stuff, but whether it's creating the podcast or you're working on a script or
Like the
you're
one I'm
writing,
working on right now.
yeah,
Oh.
exactly. Or like writing, I think that you shine the most when you create.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and I guess when you poop. If I get sleep, then you get that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into our 4-part finale for Kiramager.
I still can't believe it's a 4-part finale.
Yeah.
I didn't know those existed.
Well, I think it's more like just like a 4-episode arc, but it's
Yeah.
it's the finale. Everything's gonna be back to back, which is pretty much how Sentai does it. Like, remember
Right.
Shinkenger had like a 4-ish part episode.
I guess you're right about that. You're right.
Everything kind of bled together one after another until he took the team back.
Whee!
Spoilers. But anyway.
Anyway.
Do you want to describe what happened in episode 42 to everybody? Or should I?
Could you start it? Because I always forget the other one. Until you say like a keyword, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
So it starts off with Juru having another dream.
That's right.
And he sees this young little boy who, I think you said, what was it? Mabashina at first. But I was like, no, that's the king. Because he's sitting there and he's drawing.
Yeah.
And then something dark is coming down the hall. And it's like, oh.
Ominous.
And I think it was like maybe a couple minutes later, right? That I said that's Garza.
No, it wasn't during that scene at all.
Oh, was it later?
It was way later.
But it was before. But it was before they revealed it.
It was like seconds before. You were like, wait a minute.
I'd like to give myself more credit than just seconds, but okay, if you say so.
It was impressive. It was impressive.
We're guessing things left and right here.
Yes.
So anyway, he has a dream, and he's woken up by his 2 bullies at school who were friends of Kakihara,
right?
Who's still advocating for him as if like their little duel episode just happened last week.
When in reality, it probably
been months.
happened like a while ago, a hot minute ago.
Like they're just like, what's changed with you, Kakihara? Why are you so advocate for Juru right now? And it's like, hasn't she been? I swear, like at the end of that episode, she was. So that's a little strange. But she invites him to go on a date with her. Well, he asks if it's a date,
He's
but
like,
she
is this
said,
a date?
No, my brother
because
had
her
extra
friends
tickets.
Started making fun of her.
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe that they're friends with her.
I don't know.
I guess that's not something that I need to focus on. But
It's your typical trope of like powerful girl with the 2 just kind of their friends that are going to fall in love or like be together. Like think of like Your Name, right?
Yeah.
You had that kind of threesome going around. But she invites him to go to an amusement park with him.
Hell yeah.
And he holds onto that ticket. And everyone knows in Japan, if you go to an amusement park, you guys are dating.
That's true. We see that in a lot of like Sentai's or Tokusatsus, I should say.
My favorite personal example of this is Gantz. Part 2, where he invites her and she doesn't remember. Spoilers for Gantz 2. Perfect answer, by the way. But she goes to the amusement park, not sure why she's there because since Kei Kurano's gone, you know. And then the little message on the Ferris wheel. Oh, I love you. And she flips open her sketchbook and sees the photo she drew of him.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love Gantz. The movie's
me too.
So good. But anyway, we're talking about Kiramager.
Anyway.
So she invites him. He has the ticket and he's kind of showing it off to everybody. And we have a nice little sort of moment right before all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
But before that, there is Crunchula is saved by Garza last episode, and he has a plan for Crunchula. We don't know what it is, but then when we do, by the end of the episode, they have to explain everything that we already understand again.
Of course, you have to.
Oh my God, it's annoying.
How else are you going to get it?
How else are you going to fill that 30 seconds in this episode?
Right.
But he gives him a giant bomb, and so Crunchula's running around with this bomb, and Takamichi like is chasing after him because we have to give Takamichi something to do.
Right, of course.
And Garza actually talks to the Emperor and joins as the Emperor's right-hand mask so that Garza can be part of the Emperor.
Yeah.
And so
he's like, sit in my chair.
Well, yeah. It's like this like red ethereal space where like Yodana is just like hanging out asleep and he wakes her up and she's never been awake in there, I guess.
Yeah, that was confusing to me that she's never been awake in that space.
Especially since you have to sit in the throne because all that's in this space is them and the throne. And when you sit in the throne, you're the one that's in charge and taking over. So if Yodana's been in charge, is he just picking up her sleepy body like Bill Cosby and putting her?
Oh my God.
Well, that's topical because he just got released from jail or whatever. And that's kind of stupid because he's literally been on record for saying, yes, I bought those drugs to drug women and have sex with them. Anyway, that's all I was picturing was like, is the Emperor just walking over to Yodana and then just throwing her down onto the throne? I mean, like, all right, I'm done with walking around today. It's your turn.
Go for it. I'm tired.
Yeah. But anyway, Garza finds out that he can sit down there And
he finds out he can sit down there.
And he takes control of the Emperor's mind, and he, along with it, gets all these powers. And so, as you do with you getting new powers, he starts gassing up the city.
Yes, who wouldn't?
And he's gassing up. It first comes into the school, and it's turning kids into Muddites.
But they kind of look like zombies or something.
Yeah, they got like the green makeup and
but they're saying mud instead of brains.
They got like the nasty green chin strap going on.
Yeah, they're like contouring with green.
And so Juru and Kakihara try to run out of there, and Kakihara just pushes him forward. She's like, I can't go any further.
Which she totally could.
Yeah, but
girl.
She gets taken over, and she just promises him, like, you'll save me, right? Mud.
I will. I'll save you. And then he runs off too.
Yeah. Which leads us to a very nice scene where Juru gets back to Carrot, and all of their machines are there, and they're on the little board. All these shits are popping up all over the city, and it's like, oh my god,
what are we gonna do?
We can't respond to all of these. And all their machines give them like a nice little pep talk, like Old Man Yellow is just like, oh, Tommy Tomo can do it all by himself. You know, like all of them are like, we believe in our partners.
They're hyping them up, and they're like, together as a team.
Together, all 5 of us, all 10 of us, really, everybody here right now are the Kiramagers.
10.
Well, there's a couple other, gems that are there, but like everybody that's in this room right now is the Kiramager team.
And guess
and
who
Takamichi's still out there chasing after a guy with the bomb.
Crunchula, who's like, oh.
Which reminds me of like I made a video, like a short when I was in college of like me running around with a bomb.
Oh,
and that's what this reminded me of.
I totally see it.
Check the notes page. I'll have a picture there. I won't upload the whole thing because
that's for
Patreon.
Private eyes only, yeah. Paying eyes only.
Yeah, no. But that's just what it reminded me of. I was like, oh, fuck, I'm more like Crunchula than I thought.
I like Crunchula now.
Crunchula's had a glow up.
Yes. A mud up.
I want to know what Crunchula looks like underneath the mask.
Me too.
But I haven't looked it up because I don't want to spoil it.
The actor's whole face red, or if they're like, nah, we'll just stop it, like just enough.
I think just enough, like, cause I did a play where I had a monkey mask on for some of it.
Yeah. And
like you could still see my eye color underneath. So they just did like big circles.
They blacked it out.
Yeah, think of like Batman. You know how Batman has.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like in like the new ones with Zack Snyder, he's got the black eyelids, and then they whip off his mask, and he doesn't have that on. How does that happen? That's his superpower.
He's
Not
got
that he's
makeup
rich.
remover in his mask.
I don't know how he's doing it, but yeah. So he's gassing up the whole place, and Mr. H is able to triangulate the one area where he's gassing everybody up.
Yeah, who, by the way, I said it while we were watching it. He's more of a Kiramager. Yes.
So anyway, the gang all shows up and goes to fight him, but Garza is like, I have true power now. You can't stop me. And, even like with their Phoenix form or whatever the fuck it's called, like they can't stop him, right? And then I forget what happens, but he changes back to the Emperor.
He's like, I'm gonna go here now, and he like zaps
4 blocks away
and becomes big.
But then that's when Crunchula jumps into it, and Crunchula's bomb isn't to like blow up a school or anything. Crunchula throws it on Emperor Yodon, and it like jumbles his brain, and it like makes the throne like really hot to sit in or something. And like
who the hell knows what it actually does?
That's just my headcanon. It freezes
him in spot.
And that's when he acts.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Ring Pop strikes down Emperor Yodon, pushes Yodana over, and she's just like, okay, I'll go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And then he takes the throne for himself.
And he's like, I'm Emperor Yodon now.
And he gets like this cool, fancy, like gold form.
It really is cool.
Like Juru really thought so.
Yeah.
Juru's geeking out over there.
He's like, oh, so cool.
And that's when the machines show up to like help combat this giant Garza, Emperor Garza. And it was around that time that I was like, no, Garza was that little boy.
Because of that final move. Because Juru is like, ha.
Because King Oridon shows up, and he's like, I have a special technique we can use to stop him. And Juru's like, oh. And it was before they did the move that I said it.
Yeah, it was. You were, in fact, in my mind's eye, I can see it. You were so excited. You had turned to me, like your whole body. And you were like, oh my God, The kid was Garza. And
Yeah.
literally on the TV behind you, as you're facing me, so there's no way you saw
Was
it or anything.
Garza saying,
Is tornadoes. I was like, oh, look, you're right. And it's goofy as hell. Like,
yeah. Well, I didn't see King Oriden's attack, but I knew
you were
right.
already turning.
I was like, oh, that's how they do this.
You were already turning. Like it wasn't like they.
And as I was saying it, King Oriden was doing his attack, and I'm like, no, it's Garza.
Yeah, you would. That was the impressive part, is that it was so like there's no way you could have like
called it, and like
you had already turned your whole body. You were so excited, you figured it out. And as you were revealing it to me, it was like literally on the screen happening. I'm like, look, you're right.
But yeah, you find out that Garza is this boy, and that shadow coming around the corner was probably what corrupted him. And Ralphie, stop.
He's so fussy. He wants to be on this episode so bad, but we're ignoring him.
He wasn't even watching.
No, I know.
I don't even know what he's doing. Basically, the ending of this episode, he snatches up King Oriden and puts him in his pocket and jumps away into the little portal and says that he's going to go kill him on Jotunheim because that would be super embarrassing, I guess. And then the best,
they literally say it's humiliating. So.
and then the best part of this episode was Juru and the other four who was still transformed are like looking on in horror, and they're like, King Oriden! And it does a freeze frame, and then it cuts into him. And then it like inverts the colors.
That we were laughing so hard. I know it was supposed to be like a dramatic, like, oh my God moment, but that is just, oh my God, it was so funny the way they did that.
It was so good.
It was.
Do you want to, okay, you want to move on to episode 43, Dirty Hero?
Dirty Hero.
As soon as that title came up, no, even before we started the episode, because we watch it through Plex.
Yeah.
So I have all the episodes just like on like a storage device.
Ready
and
to
then
go.
Plex like basically organizes it like Netflix. We're not affiliated with Plex or anything. I just really like it, and you should check it out if you download, shows
you are
like this.
constantly cursing Plex.
Yeah, Plex is, because I want Plex to do things that it's not supposed to.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to like work with like 4K HDR files, and I'm trying to like work with like huge 10-bit overloads that it just I understand why its face melts, but it is getting better. They are actively doing stuff to make it better, kind of. But before this episode even started, it's called Dirty Hero, and I said, that's Garza.
You did.
And I was absolutely right.
Once again.
Yeah, What happened in episode 43?
So they need to get to Jotunheim because obviously they have to save King Oriden.
Mm-hmm.
And so they come across Takamichi and Crunchula, and Crunchula's like, no, I won't take you. And then
Takamichi's got him tied up because of the pre-credit episode of the pre-credit scene had like Takamichi doing his splits, tying him up, and he's like, help me!
And so that's what we cut to.
Yeah.
And he's like, I won't take you. I won't do it. And then he's
hi,
like,
Juru.
oh, Juru's here. Well,
it's like The Room.
yeah, he's like, oh, hi, Juru.
Oh, hi, Juru.
And he's like, well, you should have said that Juru was going to be here. We're creatives.
Yeah,
so
we're cool.
We've bonded. I'll open this for Juru. And so he does. He just uses his silly little staff and opens a portal to Jotunheim, and boop, off they go. But Tomatomo is still like...
He says, I'll look after just in case Garza or anybody shows up.
Tomatomo, though. I'm talking about like how he's like still dragging Crunchula after Crunchula was like, here's the hole for you guys. And Tommy is still like dragging him like, come on, you.
I thought we were talking about Takamichi and how we leave his ass behind again.
again.
He is not part of this team. Absolutely not part of this team. He is tacked on in the worst way possible. I wouldn't, controversial opinion, this might get me in trouble. I don't consider Takamichi a sixth hero. I consider him an extra hero or like an additional hero. I don't consider him the proper sixth.
I consider Mr. H. I know that we kind of joked about that, but in all honesty,
he does more for the team than just a mentor.
Does. He is Kirame Gold. I know they're like, no, absolutely not. He is. I saw him in the suit.
He's the better brother.
Is.
He's the brother that didn't get sick and have to be hospital flown to Crystalia.
Right. But anyway, so they get into Jotunheim and immediately Crunchula is like, Fuck
I'm
off.
out.
Yeah.
I can't.
Peace out, losers.
I'm not putting my neck out anymore. I'm going to get in trouble.
And they come across King O, which I don't know if we mentioned what exactly it was that Uncle Ring Pop was trying to kill him with.
Oh, no, because he's got like the little plastic toy version of him, and then he throws it up and he says, I'm going to feed you to this monster that's just in the shadows here. And he turns King Oridan back into his proper body, and he's just like, whoa, your new power can do this? Oh,
yeah, oh, I haven't been in my whatever form because it's not human.
And he goes, yeah, because I feel like my pet will enjoy eating you more, which it's like small plastic that it can just swallow or giant hard rock. Oh boy. What do I choose between?
It's like a fish or a whale or some sort of creature like that, and it's just like
it's just
sucking in. And not Uncle Ring Pop, King O is like trying to run away. He's like, no,
King Baby Bottle Pop.
Yeah, and Uncle Ring Pop stands there for maybe 5 seconds, if I'm being generous, and he goes, I'm bored with this. I'll come back later when you're dead. And we were like, what?
This is like Austin Powers. Like,
it really is.
If you haven't seen Austin Powers, first of all, shame on you, but it's like your main villain is just like, all right, let's close the shutters. They're going to die a painful death on the other side. And Scott, no, what are you doing? You have to see him die. He could get away. Look, I have a gun up in my room. I'll go and get it, and we can shoot him right now here together.
No.
Scott, there's still a lot you have to learn.
And it's just like that. Like, he stands there. I'm serious. When I say 5 seconds is being generous.
That's being very generous.
He's like, okay, I'm bored. I'll come back when you're dead. And it's like, what? No, but he does. He fucks off. And that's where the Kiramagers find him.
Just still running from the suck, which it's like, run to the right.
Yeah, you can get away from this. But when does Juru separate from them? I forgot, because he separates.
So Juru sees he's in danger, and Juru, without thinking, runs in there to try to help him and gets caught in the suck too.
Yeah.
And in my brain, I know I didn't say this out loud, and I should have. Blue has a fishing technique that he could have fished them both, even just King O, out of there.
Yeah.
But right before they lose their balance, Red Juru gets saved and King O gets swallowed.
That's right.
And it's Garza that saves him. He's just like, I have to talk to you. And then he takes his little train off.
That's right. That's why I couldn't remember, because it happened so quick.
And then the Kiramagers, they use their 99 seconds to charge up Tomitomo's shot to shoot the monster and kill it, to open its mouth. And then, Shigeru uses his fishing technique. And I'm like, you
could have saved a lot of time, a lot of heartache if you had just done that from the beginning.
You got to fill that 30
The
seconds.
one flaw that we can find with Shigeru.
Yeah.
And we'll blame it on Takamichi somehow.
Well, yeah, he didn't keep Garza busy enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then it comes down to Garza and Juru talking, and Juru reveals to him that he's somehow connected to him as well as his brother, and that he saw, while they're clashing swords, like where he's from, and he's just like, you're lying.
Yeah.
And he does this crazy move where he's got like this giant wolf in the moon, and then
it's crazy.
Juru pulls this one out of nowhere, and it's like this Godbird, and they both like square off, and the two attacks come to a center and hit, and then they cross blades again, and he, tells him like, we should go to this other place that you used to draw. And he brings him to that memory, and sitting there is little Garza that we now know.
Yeah.
Who's making. And then we see the darkness come around the corner again, and it's just King Oridan, and he's just like,
you were even like, oh no, is he gonna do something mean to him?
Yeah.
We have like zero faith in kids.
Well, kids can be terrible sometimes.
But we were both like, oh no, is he bad because of King O?
You have to think of all the evidence that come into there. Because in this scene, King O comes in, and King O is first shown as this darkness coming down.
Yeah.
This big shadow, this big ominous thing. And it's like, why does Garza hate Oridan so much?
Yeah, what did he do?
There has to be a reason. Maybe Oridan was jealous of what he could do, or maybe another theory I threw out, because I like to throw out a bunch of theories here and there.
See what sticks.
Another theory I had was that Oridan and Garza were the same person that were split.
Yeah.
That I kind of like that idea a little better, because it's like they're both like Garza's apparently like this like chosen one whose imagination was going to save the world. Just Crystallia, Earth doesn't matter, fuck Earth. But like he fell into darkness. But then King O also has the same chosen one gift.
Yeah. So they're both the chosen two?
Yeah, the narratively doesn't work. If they're the same person, they got split. That would be kind of cool.
Then they are the chosen one. And
they can rejoin together, or they can learn to live coexistently.
Especially because we did see, like, that's kind of been a recurring theme, is like, you know, we had the 5 Sinas, and when they all came together, they were complete. We had the 5 Crunchylas, but when one died, even Uncle Ring Pop was like, something's changed about Crunchula. Is it because he's not complete as a person anymore? So, like, that is a theme that we're seeing.
They're both super talented drawers, artists, intersparkulars, and you find out the Emperor Yoden is still alive.
Yeah, surprise. He just comes back. He's just like, I'm actually here still.
His respawn time cooldown.
Yeah.
And he kicks Garza off the throne and throws him out of him, or whatever of him.
Whatever it is.
And reveals to him that it was him meddling with him as a young boy. That sounds weird. To hate his brother and anybody that loves him.
Yeah.
And this beautiful photo he drew of his brother.
Which they're both great artists, by the way.
I mean, yeah. The photo just looks like him because they look alike.
It's a self-portrait, but he's calling it his brother.
Well, you can't see the waist below. He's technically, he could be taller.
Oh,
that's literally the only difference.
The only way you can tell them apart.
So, he was meddled with and now became more purple with hate.
Yeah, purple
over the years. I kind of like that idea. Like, it's like, it's sort of like like, if you ever played like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 or something, like where if you're if you're good, you become more like honorable and people look at you and you stand taller. But if you're evil, you kind of become more sickly and dark looking.
Yes.
It's that sort of kind of like idea, like the goodness inside you burns through and it can, you know, elongate your life, or it can make you look kind of haggly. Walmart versus Target, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Which is funny because Juru's red fighting purple. I mean,
Walmart is blue, but close enough.
Close enough.
Family.
Well, his train went into that little spiral butthole that we saw, right?
Yeah.
Walmart's logo is a sphincter, so
oh my god,
it all makes sense.
It's coming together, full circle.
Yeah, the moon, because they're open overnight.
24 hours.
Crack the code.
I think you got it. I think you got the underlying theme here.
Japan probably doesn't have either of these.
Yeah, they're probably like, what? No.
But yeah, so Emperor Yoda.
Yeah, he has like this wake up call, this like epiphany.
And then what happens? He kills Garza.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, he does kill Garza.
And you were so surprised because they had a very revealing shot that I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna die. I didn't want to say anything because I was like, I don't want to be wrong.
You know the tokusatsu clues.
the tropes.
Yeah.
The giveaways. But they had like a full body shot and it pushed in all the way to his face, which really, like, they don't do that for villains.
Yeah.
That's a very heroic type of shot. Also, like when him and Juro were squaring off, usually you put your hero on the left side of the frame.
Yeah.
They put Garza on the left side of the frame, which means that Garza was going to have a change of heart.
Okay.
Or that Garza was in the process of becoming a hero as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's some filmmaker techniques here. But yeah, they killed Garza, and you were so shocked when he fell over and exploded, and then it was just became this
huge explosion
because he was filled with all that gas still.
It was not just like one was enough. I was like, oh my god! But then it was like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh, it's like that Simpsons meme. Like, stop it! He's already dead.
If they ever re-release this and George Lucas it, they're gonna add like more explosions, maybe some of those cat graphics from a couple episodes ago, or was it just? Yeah, it was just 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
It feels like a while.
It does.
Yeah, you don't know how long it's been between since when we watched that.
But
and then he hurls Juru into this dark ravine, and the Kiramagers aren't able to get to him in time and have to escape. And the camera pans over in all this darkness and rubble and fire.
They're like, we gotta
brimstone.
get out of here. And they're gone. Like, they try and save him, but they're getting shot at by...
And he's lost.
Yodon, and yeah, they're like, we gotta fuck off. I'm sorry.
And it shows the ticket. And you and I said this before before they went into Jotunheim. That ticket is probably going to be the key. Like, Juru is going to either fall to darkness or like that's going to be like, I don't know.
Yeah. But there it is. How is he going to?
True.
I don't know. I'm worried now.
Maybe the wind will and it'll go into the ravine.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like especially like Ryu Soldier had that scene like where he's in darkness and he reaches up towards the light, which are his friends, which are the people who love him the most. They do that a lot with Sentai. Like, this series reminds me a lot of Tokuger, and Tokuger kind of has a similar ending. Juru,
no spoilers.
I know. Juru and Right are very similar, and the ending arcs end up in that like darkness world where everything happens.
Okay.
So we'll see if it's like that, and we can talk about that on the next episodes here. But anything else on this episode?
No, I just am actually now kind of like rehooked, and I'm like, okay. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
2 more episodes.
I know.
I don't know. Do you want to go watch them right now, or do you want to save them? You know, maybe because we have a little more time tomorrow.
Yeah, let's go watch them right now.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna go take another quick little break here, but for you, it'll only be like 30 seconds, maybe even nothing. Yeah,
you might jump right back in.
YouTube might just skip over this ad break, or Anchor, or whoever you're listening to this through.
Let us know in the comments.
Exactly. But oh my gosh, 2 more episodes, and this is our last episode on Kiramager.
I can't believe it.
The next episode we record after the live show is gonna be our new season that we're watching.
Crazy.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Is there any specific titles out there that you're like,
I don't want to like
sway anybody?
Yeah, I don't want to sway, but yes, there are some. I'll
Here,
tell you.
Tell me right now, and I'll beep it out.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to see.
Ooh.
That's my common writer choice.
Oh.
I know I would be very okay with as well.
All right, a woman of taste, I see.
And
no,
I'm just kidding.
We're not watching that shit. Okay.
For another Sentai. And then just going off the cuff, like not following the Sentai common writer, whatever. I do think that I would enjoy.
I know which one you're gonna say.
What do you say? Because you can bleep yourself too. Yes.
She just agreed so hard that she hit her face on the mic.
Yes. That is my choice for a non like Sentai, whatever.
Well, I will add all of those onto the bracket.
I said common righto.
Common righto. I'll add all those onto the bracket. I'll add literally anything that you think that you'd be interested in. Because
I think that last one, I don't know.
Might
sway it because I don't know. I don't know though. Who knows? And I'm not saying that's my number one choice.
I've watched a few episodes. It's not.
Well,
I don't think it's that entertaining.
That's fine.
It's only like 20 some episodes, so we could do that.
It'll
anyway,
be like another Garo season.
Yeah, but look how long that took us to
I know.
finish.
Oh my God. Don't even.
We're gonna have Kiara kick our ass. Anyway.
I know.
We'll be right back with the final 2 episodes. Oh my gosh.
Can't believe it.
Oh, wait, before we go to the commercial. So on Plex, it said the next episode was Rest in Peace or something.
Yeah, let him rest in peace.
On the Wikipedia, it says episode 44, My Friend, Sleep Quietly.
Oh, I like that more.
But I don't think they're talking about Garza.
Juru.
Okay. Just breathe. We'll be right back.
Okay.
So we just finished the last 2 episodes.
Yes, we did.
Let's talk about it. Let's kick it off. Episode 44, what happened?
Okay, so episode 44, the Kiramagers come back to Carrot minus Juru, and they are all sorts of defeated looking. And Mabushina and Mr. H are like, What's going on? Where's Juru? And everyone is just not saying anything.
1, 2, 3, 4. Are we missing someone?
They don't even count Taka.
Yeah.
And so it's Shigeru that has to give him the bad news, I believe, if I remember correctly. And they're all like the gemstones don't take it well. No one really takes it well, and they're just like, yeah, he's pretty much dead. And so then they go into a period of mourning for a while. I mean, probably not more than a couple of hours. But
especially Fire. Fire's taking it really tough.
yeah, he is just like mumbling to himself. Every now and then you hear him say Juru. Yeah, he's seriously, all you hear is,
Juru still owes me $5.
So he's just really not handling it well. And then Shigeru finally stands up and is like, this is bullshit. Enough of this. And Fire's like, what the fuck? Do you not care about Juru and the fact that he's dead?
Mm-hmm.
And Shigeru's like, no, I care very much, but we've got 3 out of 4 Grainer Stones here, and we know Emperor Yodan is coming for them. We need to get our shit together. And Sayo is like, he's right. It's true. We need to defend Earth, and then we can cry that Juru is dead. Definitely, absolutely dead.
And that's when he comes back, Yodan. Not Juru. Juru's dead. Juru's gone. But like Emperor Yodan comes back after Yodana leaves the last one in their little murky
He's like,
swamp palace.
I'm gonna leave it right here.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah.
It's gonna get taken. And they all devise a plan to stop the Emperor in his giant form by using the power of the stones, which apparently have their power back now.
I thought it was kind of like okay,
one-time
you use
use.
it, and then it's going to take a long time for it to like rebuild. You can use it again, or like you use it once, and then after that, you have to use it all 4. Like,
that's the beauty with these shows is that when they tell you about these things like months ago, you're a child, you'll forget.
Oh,
they're still good. Use them again. It's like, why don't you just use it all the time?
Yeah, well,
I think I don't know. They should have all been still black.
Yeah.
And then when they get the last one, they all regain their color.
Yeah. I like that idea.
But anyway, they devise a plan to basically trap Emperor Yodan into his not Mabashina form. That'd be weird. To his Yodana form so that they can seal her in her own carbonite. And what happens then?
Destroyer. Well, so
they should have just stepped on her.
I know they really should have. So they're successful. The first 2 things, like they use the reverse stone, because he's Emperor Yodan right now. So they use the reverse stone to go back in time to when he was in Yodana's form.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck? And then they use the freeze.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to describe what each of these stones do. It doesn't matter.
She's locked in place, and so it cuts back to Jotunheim where she's on the throne, and she's like, "Oh no, what do we do?" And Emperor,
he's like, "It's okay.
I've got a plan."
Yeah.
And then he like slashes her, which is, I mean, it's not gory, but it's a little bit.
It is if you
more
look at the warning sign on this Wikipedia page. Scenes of blood, bloodshed, and character death.
Well, I don't. Ooh, shit.
Not really. Because she like he slashes her. She's on the ground. First it's blood, and then it's like green, and then she turns into blue flame. And then in the beginning of next episode, she's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She held on for a little bit longer.
She rekindled herself from the flames.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So that takes care of that because they had her trapped also, and like she became Han Solo Carbonite also, and so.
But with her dead now. That completely crumbles.
And Shigeru was just about to put the Destroyer Stone, and I said, oh no, something bad is about to happen, and sure enough.
Okay, he was going to put the Destroyer Stone on it. It would have just killed, I don't want to keep wanting to call her Mabashina. It would have killed Yodana and the same effect.
You are absolutely right.
I am okay, if you can't tell by the way that I'm talking about this right now, the excitement's kind of dead out of my voice. I'm sorry to have failed this finale. We have some good news that we can talk about at the end of the episode, which will definitely lift up my spirits. But these last 2 episodes were frustrating.
Yeah.
They were severely mentally not there. And I feel like there's a lot of cool ideas and there's a lot of things that they were kind of just going with the flow and the motion of how Sentai ends itself.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it was so disconnected. And it's so sad because I really like the show. And I really wanted it to have a really strong ending, and I feel like it missed the mark here. So if he was going to hit her with the Destroyer Stone, that would have done the exact same thing as if they would have just stepped on her ass because they were in their gatais, or if they would have he killed her.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's all the same effect. Emperor Yodan's still going to come out.
Her carbonite literally crumbles, which is exactly what Shigeru was prepping to do. And it's the same thing.
They killed the assassin. and he transformed back into Emperor Yodon and his side of his mask destroyed. They killed Garza, or he ejected Garza, but that would have been the same thing had they killed Garza. Same thing would have happened.
Like, I don't know, shells that he is inhabiting. It's not him.
Yeah, like.
So clearly the plan did not work.
All hell's going to happen and break loose.
It's just not going well. And then
a little portal shows up and he gets a little jab in the back. Oh!
And I even said, what the hell just happened? Because it just happened so like lickety split. I didn't even have time to process.
Well, a little portal opens up from the gross, nasty, flooded Jotunheim, and Garza's train thing flies out. And I was like, oh, it's Crunchula. Crunchula's probably bringing back Juru's body, or, Juru's going to be there with him. And Juru jumps out of the train.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I was expecting that. But then they come up with this half-brained cockamamie of Garza ejects his life force before he dies in the last episode into his train and tells the train, hey, go pick up Juru. And then when Juru's inside and he can see him clearly piloting it, he goes, oh, wow, so you're in here? No, my life force is dying.
I'm about to die.
What? That doesn't make any sense! Why can he not survive in this when King Oriton's in a fucking crystal stone? I hate this! Why does Garza die?
I know. It's like once they make you like a character, a bad character.
I don't care if I like him or not. He put his life force into that.
Yeah.
That's his new body. These are the scientific rules that this goddamn show invented, and then it goes against it. I am so mad. And he's like, I cannot be here any longer, but tell my brother I wish I could have been a better brother, and then dies.
He sparkles away.
I hate it. And then they're all like in the middle of a battle.
Yeah, they all jump out of the gatai.
They jump out of it and they run up to Juru and they're all just like, you idiot, what are you doing here? As if Emperor Yodon hasn't just killed thousands of people and he's just slowly getting up now. How did you survive? And he tells us how he survived. And he's like, I also found Crunchula. And Crunchula's there.
That might be my favorite shot of that whole episode, is where he's like, I was making my way around Jotunheim trying to find the Granner Stone, I think. And
I didn't want
to shot of him running
dancing around
like the desert of Jotunheim.
Well, he said that he went and stole the last Granner Stone because he wanted to use it as like a bargaining chip. Because he didn't want to be under Emperor Yodon's control. That doesn't make any sense because he would have just fucking killed him too.
Yeah.
These people are stupid. Anyway, but like Juru, the whole reason why he's been gone so long is he's been looking for that, found Crunchula, and now Crunchula is part of the gang.
Yeah,
which
I support it.
This has like been the biggest and nicest 180 on a character, and I love it.
We're starting the Crunchula fan club.
Yeah, we're gonna make little pins.
Let us know if you want in.
I love Crunchula by the end of this, which is something I never thought.
Crunchwrap Supreme. I love him.
And they're still in the middle of the fight, and they all are like, "Well, this is our final fight. Let's all transform." And it's like really good,
Yeah.
They got the song playing, and they all do their final transformation. Yeah. It's great, and it's like, wait till next episode.
Which I'm like, okay.
Yeah, this is what Sentai does. It likes to give you that last, like, okay,
this is only my second one, so.
But it's very similar to Shinkenger.
Yeah.
Where Takaru reclaims his team.
Yeah.
And they have, the Kuriko draw the house banner away, and they're all there approaching Dokuku.
It's so good.
This is exactly it, except this doesn't make sense because Emperor Yodon would have just... when they're fighting, all the buildings are destroyed around them, and then the one that they're on's perfectly fine.
Oh, it's fine.
Why wouldn't he just get up and destroy that building with all of them? Oh my god.
Well, it's the same reason he walks away or I guess that was Garza who walked away. Yeah. There are a lot of questionable things, but that's okay.
That's okay.
So then we go into the next episode.
The episode final.
Yes.
You guys shined, which also contains bloodshed and character death.
Yeah.
Viewer discretion advised.
Well, you pay for quality.
What happened?
So,
don't forget to mention the stupid backstory of how Emperor Yodon
I've already forgotten the stupid backstory.
You did? Remember the beginning where they're like, the only way we can stop him is if we destroy what's under his helmet for some reason?
And the way he's going to take that helmet off is if he devours your bodies, because that's apparently what he does. The Crunchyroll's like, I've heard, I don't know for sure, but rumor has it that he likes
I would trust Crunchyroll with my life
bodies.
by now.
So
he'll take the helmet off after he's killed you. Once your slain corpses are strewn about, he'll suck them up for some reason.
So I've heard. That's what everyone is saying in Jotunheim.
It's a weird kink, I know, but I'm not one to kink shame, but that's what he does. That's how you can get him. And then they're like, okay. And then they have a backstory of how he was just this lonely peon.
Yeah.
Who
got struck by lightning, but he calls it something else.
Yeah, he got, I don't even fucking care. He's just welding a hammer in the desert to make a helmet.
Yeah.
And he puts it on.
It rains.
And now he's super...
And that's the...
I'm so frustrated.
Emperor Yodan origin story. And so that's...
It would make sense if he is this little lonely peon that found this helmet that was talking to him, that was sealed away or something, and he put it on, and he became the consciousness of this helmet, and everybody that he partners with, when they die, it adds to their power overall. And so if they can destroy that helmet and get him underneath, he's nothing underneath it, and as long as the helmet never gets put on again, they're good. That's all they have to do.
Yeah.
Now he's in the desert just hammering some shit. Oh, I'm so mad.
I can tell. I
know. Okay. But they have this plan.
Yeah.
And they go to fight him.
Yeah.
What happens? I'm sorry. You should be explaining this, not me. I'm getting way too worked up here.
You're
I hope it's funny.
Calamentality.
Kira mentality.
No, the bad one.
Oh,
Calamentality. Yeah, it's showing. It's coming out.
Okay.
We need to bring it back to your Kira mentality.
We can by the end.
Okay, I'm also stalling because I can't remember what happened.
Okay, so they have their plan, and it's the Gatais.
Oh yeah.
Like their main Gatai and Takamichi's stupid Wonder Daisen thing, and they go to attack him, and he kills him.
Yeah.
That's literally it. And then they're not dead. They're there. And once he takes the helmet off, they just smack it out of his hand.
They literally smack it out of his hand. And he's like, what? And then from that point on, he becomes a bumbling, stupid idiot character.
The pre-credit scene from last episode had Mabushina crying a lot, and she's done that all throughout the season. We've only used her tears twice.
Yeah.
So they might, this bitch is probably crying all the time.
Yeah.
They would have a reservoir. So in my brain, I was like, oh my God, do they have enough of these fucking crystals to make giant Gemini dolls?
Which would have been
funny as hell.
So cool.
Because they could have attacked and he could have been like, what? And turned around, and then they got up and it walked over, and we could have gotten like Kiramager or whatever the hell it's called, do a butt bump. That would have been funny. I want to see that now.
No, that's too good.
No, they just used the other stone's power to create an illusion, make him trip out on, like, what'd you say, peyote?
Yeah. Like, Juru literally comes from around some rubble with the stone held out.
And he goes, make him see an illusion.
And he wasn't specific. It could have been anything.
Very vague. Could have been like a big titted bitch just standing there. We don't know what he saw.
But then it showed us, in case we weren't sure of what we just saw him see. It showed us again.
And like you said, he becomes a bubbling idiot after they smack his helmet out of his hand.
After that, he's just like a joke of a villain.
Well, they kick him in the head so hard he grows small for some reason.
He's like, duh.
And then Mabushina's on the battlefield, and she goes, I present to you the Kiramagers.
Yeah.
And they come walking up without their helmets on. Why?
Well, I thought that was cool if they had kept that going. I don't know why they didn't have the helmets on. I can't answer that question for you.
Just to make this very clear to everybody, I fucking love helmetless roll calls.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's a Sentai staple.
I loved it. I loved that.
Shinkenger did a civilian roll call which is different. But a lot of times you'll have it without the helmets just because we get to finally see the actors.
To me, it kind of seems like a curtain call almost.
It does, yes. And a lot of times they'll actually do the fight. Actually, all the times they do the fight.
Actually, all the time.
And this one, they just show up, do the roll call, which is amazing.
It's beautiful, especially the acrobatic part at the end. Actually being able to see them do that.
And now we put our helmets on.
Okay,
Fuck you.
Okay, helmets back on, guys. Helmets back on.
It's so stupid.
And I love that Emperor Yodon allows them to do this.
He allows them to do everything.
It's just like, I'll just wait quietly and patiently.
It's so mind-boggling how there's such a separation of reality here that in most Sentai you can be like, oh yeah, they can probably, give them a chance to do their roll call. And like, again, I fucking hate that I keep going back to Shinkenger because that's really the only one you've seen.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But Shinkenger, they show up and they start to do their roll call and they get attacked. And so they do their roll call while they're being attacked. That's realistic.
Yeah, that's cool.
This isn't at all.
Because he's not, he's smaller, but he's really not wounded. And he's got those Mudite, like the Emperor's Guard, they call them.
Yeah,
like,
that doesn't make sense.
Just hanging out. Like he
could have called upon them at any time to kill them.
And technically, if they're going to go through this whole thing, then technically,
without their helmets, just shoot them in the head.
Yeah, he's got the upper hand. But
here's my thing. Okay, so if you're going to do a helmetless sequence, have it play into the story or have it actually be an effective thing in the show. Other than them just walking up, they're like, hey guys, before we get down there and we walk up on this guy, what if we all just didn't have our helmets on?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool, yeah. That's Shigeru.
That's Shigeru,
yeah,
of course.
And no, what would have been so cool is if like, they could have introduced this like a couple episodes ago, like when they're fighting them, the gems on their heads, which are, kind of like a sister to or a brother to the bodies of their partners, that he doesn't like their shine that they bring. And so the shine is like, it distracts him, like it catches the light and he doesn't like it and it infuriates him. And so the thing that shines more than that is each one of them. And that's why they show their face. And that's why, because they're here in this moment, they are shining their fucking fullest to fucking murder this bastard. But no, they put their damn helmets on. It's so stupid.
It really seemed like they were going for one thing with the helmets off, and I was so excited and geared up for a helmetless fight.
I
and
saw
then they were
all over Twitter.
Okay, helmets back on. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
And the one really good thing they do with this fight is it's like a clip show.
Yeah. Oh, I loved that.
That's the best part of this episode is Mabashina going, oh, so-and-so, you are such and such, and you did all these amazing things. And it's showing clips from the episodes that they really shined throughout the season. And it's such a beautifully touching moment through this fight.
It really is.
If they were fighting with the helmets off, how much cooler would that have been?
You know how I feel.
Especially when she's going through Shigeru's and he turns back and like blue steals, the camera.
Absolutely Zoolandered the camera.
It's just, it's amazing. The final fight scene is amazing. But don't give us the helmetless and take it away.
Yeah.
Or have them go through the fight and then the final part of it is helmetless.
Yeah.
Go-Onger. There's not a lot of people who have seen Go-Onger because a lot of people haven't gotten through it or want to give it a chance. Go-Onger has one of the strongest endings.
Yeah.
They literally are killing main characters and they literally come back to life and they say, we can't stay resting in peace because of how much noise is happening on the surface. And they show up for one final fight with the main three, because that's how the show starts, is with the main three. Spoiler alert for Go-Onger, by the way. And they get their asses handed to them. They all there transform and they get their asses handed to them and their helmets come flying off and the red one crashes down and the main villain steps on it and crushes it. And they all rise again from the fire and the ashes to transform, and they all transform without their helmets and do the final fight.
That's cool.
Even though they're a step lower now in power. I don't know if the helmet adds power.
But it's protection, if nothing else.
It's such a moving moment. It's so wonderful. Like, so many Sentai have done this that it's just like, maybe they're trying to like do something different, but I just feel so shorted.
Like robbed or something. Yeah.
I was so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. And oh man,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. It's really it's just a tokusatsu show.
I know, but still.
But like I don't know, I just think of like all the other like Sentai endings. Like Tokyuger's was great. They didn't really do the helmetless thing fully. They did, and then they transformed, and it was cool. But like,
yeah,
they did their roll call helmetless, and then at the very end, their helmets came on.
Okay.
So it's like you get to see that's kind of what this is doing, but shittier.
Oh.
And then they kill Emperor Yodon. They shoot. It doesn't fucking matter. You've seen the episode. You wouldn't be listening to this if you haven't watched it. You've seen it. It's awesome. They shoot the fucking arrow and they blah, you're my hero.
Because Senna tries to run at him and he's like, get this shit out of here, and knocks it away.
Knocks it out of her hand.
Yeah.
He's learning.
I'm on to you.
Except
guys.
he knocked it upwards.
Which allowed
Tomitomo to shoot it, and then it falls just perfectly for Juru to
arrow it. Pew! And then sure enough, it gets him, and that's it.
And the funniest part of the episode is the suit actors are all hugging. We did it, and they're throwing their weapons as high as they can in the air.
We don't need these anymore.
That are coming crashing down to the ground.
No, they didn't confirm the kill.
And they like find out like a day or two later they need to reshoot something with one of those swords, and it's like in 2 pieces.
Yeah. But I mean, that's it.
3 months later. Why?
3 months. That's.
Why? It literally shows us everything they did right after it was all done. I don't get this show's ending. It doesn't narratively make sense.
And he like zooms in, like AIs himself, holographic.
Hologram zooms his way into Carrot
and the
Tower.
future is now.
Yeah,
and
in 3
they're
months.
all there, and I wonder if they're all like the same way, like they're all just like projected in.
I think so, because we see Juru, who's rocking a really cool haircut. I like the way he's parting his hair now. Kind of looks like Aruto from 01.
Yeah.
You got Senna, who's in like a new like race track outfit. You got Tomitomo in his stupid gamer jacket thing.
Yeah.
I love what they did with Sayo's hair and like her outfit.
I do too. It's so cute. It is working so hard in her favor. Snaps, girl, snaps.
And Shigeru's just there how he's always been.
Yeah. Which I'm glad they do address that. Like when they get zapped to Crystalia.
Well, yeah. Takamichi and Mabashina show up, and then they're like, you can't see the crystals? Well, let's change the location that the holograms are in, which doesn't make sense because then the crystals are there and they jump into their hands, and it's like, that's not how holograms work. But yeah. So
yeah, they like are in Crystalia. They're like, oh, you can't see the crystals. Let's flip it. And now we're in hologram Crystalia.
Which is recovered now because 3 months ago they used the Granner stones to wish it back.
And they didn't think to tell them that?
I don't fucking get this ending. They all get to see their partners again, which the point of them being away from the partners is that when we get to see them again as the audience, we're very happy for their reuniting.
Yeah.
What this does is it's like, yay, we finished the fight. Oh my God, Fire, I haven't seen you in so long. That doesn't make sense. If you have your finale end with them saying goodbye, we know we're going to see the Kiramagers again. Having Kiramager versus Zenkaiger and having them get to see their crystals again, that's where you have that moment. Because it's been almost a year since we've got to see them together. That's what a smart person would do. But no, they're like, hey, we haven't seen you for 3 months. And it's like, I don't care. I want to see them say goodbye. It's like we're not saying goodbye to the show. It's just like, oh yeah, the show's over.
Here we go 3 months down the road.
Yeah, everybody's doing fine. Except for Shigeru. He's kind of like, he's like high school reliving his glory days. Yeah. Wearing the same outfit. And oh, look over there. It's Mount Rushmore with our fucking faces on it. Why?
And they mentioned something about like the reason why Juru was so in tune with King Oridan is because they were sharing the same dream.
I don't fucking care.
I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They dreamed a dream.
Yeah. That's exactly it. And so that's it.
That's
Kiramager.
Kakihara shows up and she's
Yes,
like, hey, you
that
didn't draw me
saved-
right. That was the only good part of this like 3 months later thing.
Yeah.
Because we don't get to know what anybody's up to. That's the point. We get to see them like they're doing something, but we don't know what they're up to.
Yeah.
This is how the V Cinema Versus movies work. You say goodbye, and it's sad and it's bittersweet. And then you can maybe do like a 3 months later. We never got to see them say goodbye. That's my favorite part. It's narratively it's narratively a release.
And that
is what we call closure. Exactly. For all my friends viewers out there, that's exactly it. We didn't get closure.
Yeah.
They throw their fucking weapons up 20 feet in the air and break the real props. And then it's 3 months later. Oh yeah, everyone's doing fine, by the way. I don't care. I know they're going to be doing fine because it's Sentai, and it's not Sentai from the 90s where literally they save the world, and during a wedding, your fucking Black Ranger gets stabbed and dies. Yeah, I love old Sentai because old Sentai does the 3 months later, but then they give you something to worry about because you're like, oh my God.
They give you something to worry about.
And like the thing with that old Sentai is they actually show you where people are. They're not just like, oh, Senna's wearing a new outfit. Is she in the Olympics? It doesn't, they would actually tell you.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not telling you which season it's from. You probably already know, but 2 of the characters get married and they're having a wedding. And it's like,
you've shown me this.
It's months later. And the Black Ranger is just like,
on the park when you guys carry on.
He's going to buy flowers and he witnesses a mugging and he tries to stop him as a civilian and he gets stabbed and murdered.
Yeah.
And he crawls his bleeding way all the way to the wedding to see his 2 best friends begin a life together of happiness. And that's the last thing he sees. He gets closure with this guy that he thought was his rival, but was really his best friend who pushed him to do greater things, just like he pushed him.
Yeah.
And he wishes them happiness in their life and he dies. That is fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
We get fucking Mount Rushmore.
It sparkles. It sparkles.
I don't care. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And not a fun or relieving or like it adds anything to the story stupid. And Kiramager I thought was much better than that. Like I think it deserves a much better ending than this.
Yeah.
I'm so frustrated and so just upset with this.
I'm so sorry.
And if there's anyone listening that does like this ending, please don't let me sway you in this. This is just I get very personal with shows I watch, which is
he does.
One of the things I was kind of worried about with watching a season that we hadn't seen before is because there's a lot of shows out there that I really liked. Like I really loved Gokaiger.
Yeah.
And then the ending just ruins it for me. And it's like, this wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
An entire year of my life watching this week to week, or even sitting there binging it for 50 episodes, this isn't worth it. And I feel like with Kiramager, there's a lot of really shining great episodes. And this is the runt of every episode is these last 2.
Yeah.
I think these are the worst episodes out of all 45 episodes of Kiramager. 46 if you count episode 0. That's my personal opinion. Some of the filler episodes had better moments than what you would think or have in this. And I'm terribly disappointed.
I'm so sorry. Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Okay. And you're over there on the couch going, it's so cute.
I know. Well, I was mainly talking about
Kakihara.
the drawings and Kakihara. Oh my God. I love her. She's great. Yeah.
The final drawing being of Zenkaiger and then of them.
Oh, that was so cute.
It's so
I'm
cute.
sorry. That was cute.
I'm going to use that for our final
please
images.
do.
But yeah, anything on this episode or Kiramager as a whole?
Overall, I liked it. I do agree that it didn't finish as strongly as it started.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't get the ending that I think it deserved. It was on the road to it, but then it kind of like the car broke down on the way there and they said, this is the best we can do.
They saw the end in sight and then they just shambled their way any way they could there. They didn't show up with like class.
No. And I mean, I don't want anyone out there to think that I overall didn't like Kiramager. I did.
No, I did too. I
Kiramager.
loved it.
It checked all the boxes for me. Even with the ending, I still love it. Like, and it's still right up there with me and my 2 Sentais I've seen. So overall, I still loved it. It wasn't... The ending, like I said, was a bit, disappointment. I wish it would have gone, a little bit differently. Like you pointed out.
There's so many touching things they could have done.
Yeah, and I wish instead of like
it's just a disservice to the characters
of Mount Rushmore Crystalia, I wish we would have used those 5 minutes to see touching goodbyes. Kind of like how in Forze when they were reading Kingo's letter, you know?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
And Kamen Rider definitely hits them a lot better. Sentai, like if you look at Shinkenger's wasn't that amazing. Yeah, the first half is them fighting and winning, and we have to expect that to happen.
Yeah.
But then the last half is literally these people picking up their lives again and saying goodbye to this family that they've had for a year. It's terribly sad.
It's time to move on.
It's really good. Tokuger is one of my personal favorite endings.
But don't say anything.
I'm not going to. Like that elicits emotion out of you. Like Tokuger literally every time I watch it makes me tear up. Yeah. Even cry sometimes when I'm really in the spirit.
Really in
the spirit. And that's what your ending should do. It would be so cute to have had a moment 3 months later, sure, where Mr. H meets with Mabushina and his brother, and they're able to take Mr. H to Crystalia to finally see it. That would be cool to see. It would be really neat to have Mabushina travel with the gems, the crystals, to each one of them like she did in episode 0.
Yeah.
And she gets to see where they were and where they are now.
Yeah.
That would have been cool to see. To have that final goodbye.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're not going to be able to, communicate or travel between Crystalia anymore. So this really is a final goodbye.
Yeah.
Or to protect the borders a little bit.
Yeah.
Crystalia is going to act as like that defense around Earth. That they're going to be like, again, the first stop. Something that really kind of severs, or you have to say goodbye to these two groups of characters.
I agree. Well, I couldn't agree more.
Because I feel like, especially for kids, this isn't a strong way to do it. Because like, remember Shinkenger's V Cinema? They had to make us V Cinema really close to the end of the show because kids were so upset that they didn't get to see their characters anymore. They didn't get to see the Shinkengers. They had to deal with Ghost Sagers. But with that, they had a message at the end that was just like, don't worry, we'll always be here. You can always, pop this DVD back in and revisit us. We'll always be here. We'll miss you. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Yeah.
That's a good definitive ending. And I think that's a good lesson for kids too, that like, you have to move on.
Yeah.
You can't
live. Yeah.
You can't live in that high school moment the rest of your life. Like you may have a lot of friends in high school right now. And maybe, after you get out of high school, you can still be in touch with those friends, maybe even good friends with them. But if you fixate your entire life around keeping that, that's unhealthy. I don't know. I just feel like having that in your shows for kids early on, that you have to
setting them up for.
And it's realistic.
This is the real world, kids.
It's realistic. In a show full of like colorful spandex superheroes, give them something real to hold on to. That's what the messages in each of these episodes are.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big one that they missed out on, is how to say goodbye to something that you really love or has been in your life for a year or more. I think that's important.
I think so too.
So,
I agree.
With that is the end of our Kiramager watch.
Woo!
Yay! What did you guys think? What's your guys' favorite moment from this podcast season? Let us know.
Yeah. Let's discuss.
Well, since we had one person, I forget who it was, who didn't really like the idea of us recording in chunks because they thought, like the energy wouldn't be there or it'd be different.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, you don't have to listen to the whole thing at once. You can kind of split it up by chunks, which is fine. The advantage with us doing and moving to the 2-episode kind of thing and splitting the episodes in half is it allows us to talk better, I think, about these episodes. Yeah. From kind of more of a recent memory than 3 episodes ago.
I can barely remember 1 episode ago.
Exactly. Like,
it all blends together to me.
The nice thing about it too is it allows us to breathe a little more. We can get these out. Like, as you see, most of these have been coming out every week now. This one, we had a little break because we were doing a special 6 episode.
Yeah.
But another cool thing is if we would have recorded all 6 of these episodes at once, you wouldn't get to hear about the fun things that happen in between the episodes. And I don't really know how to say this, but I think we're going to have to end the show or...
Oh, I'm already crying.
or rebrand it. Because, well, yesterday, Lauren got her own little crystal partner, and I got down on one knee and I asked her to marry me. And she said yes.
Oh my God, I'm crying already. Yes. So, I don't want to talk.
I don't want to talk. So imagine if we had recorded all 6 of these episodes, and then just randomly the next episode we're like, oh yeah, we're engaged now.
Oh my God. Oh my God, how am I going to survive? I'm just crying every time it gets talked about.
See, if we were still doing video on this would have been a pretty fun moment to do it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like the way that I did it, and I think you did too. And
yes.
Honestly, I want to keep that story kind of between us, personal, but we're engaged.
We're engaged. Oh my God, we're going to get married.
So Tokusatsu girlfriend has become Tokusatsu fiance now.
I'm so happy.
Tokusatsu wife.
I'm so happy. I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to gush. It's just, I'm very, 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 very happy.
I'm happy to have you in my life. I'm happy that we were able to save you from everything that was going on in your life and just surround you with a bunch of people that are super happy that you're here. I'm obviously very happy that you're in my life, and I know that this show means a lot to people, and they like watching and listening to this through us. So if you're listening to this on Patreon, please don't spoil the news yet. If this episode's out on all your podcast apps or whatever, go nuts. Do whatever, but
I don't want to sniffle into the mic.
But yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. No, thank you, Lauren. Thank you. But I don't know. I think we'll keep calling it Tokusatsu Girlfriend, just because I think the idea of it goes beyond just you being the Tokusatsu girlfriend. I think it's the idea of being able to sit down. You know, you could even call it like Tokusatsu boyfriend. You know, it doesn't even matter. Like whoever you can find that you love and they love you, that's one thing. But finding somebody that you love that loves you that can also give the things that you love a chance. That's really important. So thank you for giving Tokusatsu a chance.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I'm so happy to.
And well, next time we hear from you guys, next episode, we will be watching our new season of whatever.
Yay!
So yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll have the live episode. So if you're listening to this on our Twitter, Tokusatsu GF, we have a couple of time slots. Go check those out. If any of those work for you, vote on which one you think works the best. We'll try to work around and go with that one so that we can do our live show sometime this week.
Yay.
Preferably like Friday.
Yeah, when I don't have to go to work the next day.
Yeah. And we can stay up and we can do another tournament where if you haven't been to one of our live shows before, it's really great. It's really fun. We sit down and we literally just tournament bracket it. And we're going to set it up to where everybody that's in chat, it'll be between like, I don't know, Shinkenger or Kiramager. And you type in whichever one you want and we'll tally them up. And the winner moves on to the next bracket.
It's so much fun. And we get to talk to you guys too the whole time. And that's what I really like.
It's good. And I'm so excited to see what everybody wants to watch.
Me too.
Because like with Kiramager, it was great because it had just finished when we started. So that was good. We had a lot of people that were super excited, could jump into that. But the other problem is not a lot of people have seen it, which is good too because a lot of them watched it with us. But then there's some people that are like, I don't want to watch Kiramager. This is your chance. If you're listening to this final episode, whatever you want on those brackets, we'll even have an open bracket for donors or whatever. Whoever's got the highest, they can add whatever they want on there. Just try not a Power Rangers, please. For Lauren's sake.
Please. Thank you.
And mine. But yeah, that's all I have, you guys.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, and I'll post a picture of the ring too.
Yeah.
So just give that a little bit. I'm gonna give that like a day before I post that after this episode's gone up, just so I don't spoil anybody. So they see a ring and then they're gonna be like, I was 20 minutes into this episode.
Yeah.
They ruined it just like the Kiramager finale. But it's pretty. I love it.
I do too. gorgeous. It's everything I've ever wanted.
Yay.
Yay.
Hopefully I'm everything you ever wanted.
Well, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Duh.
She did say yes.
I did. After 5 minutes of crying, I had to seriously.
I was getting worried about 4 minutes in.
I forced it out because I was just crying so hard. And I'm like, oh, I haven't said anything yet. And I was like,
nope.
Yes. And then I just kept crying really hard.
I kind of wish I had it on camera, so then it's legally binding now.
It was ugly crying, so I'm glad you didn't.
All right. Well, we will see you all next time on Tokusatsu Girlfriend.
Yay.
You still crying?
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.